In this week's web video fishing forecast for New England, we've got tips on three-weighing bunker for striped bass this upcoming fishing season, mixed bag ice action, some really good weather for cod on the horizon, as well as some good tips to help you put more fish on the deck and in your cooler. Steady action on holdover striped bass, some really good trout, including a monster 9-pound brown landed up on the Cape, and much, much more. Check it out.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
Well, before I get into this week's video, I want to remind you to like this video, comment down below, subscribe to the Fisherman Magazine YouTube channel, and be sure to tap the bell to get immediate notification when we post new content. All right, before I jump into the actual fishing reports locally, I talked to Captain Mike Roy of Real Cast Charters for a while on the phone this week. We discussed a bunch of subjects from the new circle hook regs to our recent fishing exploits, which led me to find out that Mike is down in Florida right now, and he's going to be there for the majority of the next month or so. Well, I, of course, made sure to fill him in on the wonderful New England weather that he is missing, and he passed along word how he's targeting a variety of Florida species in the salt with varying levels of success so far. Stay tuned for more details on that. But in the meantime, I want to direct you over to the Real Cast Charters YouTube page, as Mike is going to be dropping some really good content this winter to keep your salty juices flowing with videos that he shot throughout this past season. Now this week he debuted a video on fishing with live bunker on a three-way rig, and he talks about not only the rig that he uses, but also when and why a three-way works over other methods in certain scenarios. Now you can check out the video right now by clicking the link in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and be sure to give that a like and let Mike know that we sent you over there. And of course, if you want to fish with Mike this coming season, be sure to hit him up, as his spots always fill up fast. All right, jumping into the local fishing reports back here in New England. Heard from James and Clay. They checked in once again as they hit the hard water over the weekend with some pretty good success. Said that they made a run up into New Hampshire, driving just past Concord, and had a variety of species through the ice, including a nice brown trout for Clay, a bunch of white perch, and even a first time ever for James, a smelt on the jigging rod. They said they found about 6 to 8 inches of ice across much of the lake that they were fishing, but closer to home on the north shore, they're not really finding any fishable ice just yet, but of course they're going to continue hunting and pass along word once they do find it. Moving on to the salt for a minute. Cod fishing remains kind of up and down depending on the day and the mood of the fish, as is so often the case in the winter. Keep getting reports of bait moving onto the grounds, which bodes well for the bite going forward. And with some pretty decent weather on the horizon, I'd recommend booking a spot at the rail of your favorite boat this coming weekend, as we could be in store for some really good action. Now locally, we got the Francis Fleet, the 7Bs, and the Black Hawk all sailing pretty much anytime the weather allows for it. And keep in mind, you got to book all of your spots in advance. They're all by reservation only, no walk-ons like normal years. Contact info for all three boats can be found at thefisherman.com. Just click on the fishing reports. The drop-down will give you the regions. Of course, the Black Hawk sails out of Connecticut, and the Francis and 7Bs in Rhode Island. So you can head right over from there, get their most recent reports, and go right to their website and book a trip. And if you do plan to hop on a headboat this weekend, it's not a bad idea to try to re-hone your skills before you get out there to make sure you put in your best effort at the rail. To that end, I'd recommend giving a look to a recent article by Pat Vogt found at thefisherman.com titled Optimize Your Cod Success. In this article, Pat discusses jigging, when to use clams, the rigs that he uses, and much, much more. It's a solid read for both longtime cod hunters as well as newbies alike, so give it a look. On the holdover striped bass front, I'm getting word of fish being caught pretty much in every tidal river and harbor from the North Shore of Massachusetts all the way to the extreme western end of Long Island Sound, and honestly probably beyond that. Heard from Evan over at Black Hall Outfitters this week. He's been working on the holdovers in Connecticut, putting together some respectable catches both from his kayak as well as from shore. He noted that the 4-inch Tsunami Swim Shad remains a very good bet for him, and I personally really like the 2-inch model when I'm hunting in the smaller tidal rivers of Connecticut. Evan wanted me to let everyone know also that the Black Hall store in Westbrook will be closed for a couple of weeks until their new building is completed. However, in the meantime, you can place an order online for local pickup or shipping if you need anything until the shop is open. And we're going to finish up with trout once again this week, and once again we got word of another mega fish landed. This time around, it was up on Cape Cod by Danny Jones of the Goose Hummock Shop. He landed this massive 9-pound brown trout. Now, thoughts or consensus is this was likely a holdover trout from one of the past state brood stockings that was done. It was probably released a couple of years ago, and the fish has survived, held over in one of the larger Cape ponds. From what I gathered, Danny released the fish too, so it's still swimming around out there. So big congrats to Danny on yet again another fine Cape Cod catch. And then last up, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of video that I shot over the weekend of a few wild brook trout that I found holding in a very small roadside pool in southeastern Connecticut. Before shooting the video, I managed to land a couple of small brookies on the fly rod, and then I set the video camera down to see what was going on. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. And of course, if you plan to get out and fish this weekend, be sure to start off your trip by visiting thefisherman.com.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you.